This
For
conference will now be
jumping
recorded.
on our call this morning. This is part of our continuing OHLA Innovation and Technology Initiative, which was created to bring new partners and needed solutions to our industry to help identify pain points for hotels that can be addressed through the creation and adoption of new ideas and to support emerging technologies in the hospitality space. Today's conversation is one that will be particularly relevant for a lot of members as public safety, safety, security, crime related issues are becoming the biggest priority for some of our most affected hotels. And many of you that are on this call have been involved with us in our other discussions and initiatives on the public policy side. We think that we need to bring resources, partners like you're going to hear from today, and new ideas to bear while we're also working on the public policy behind crime and public safety as well. This is a good fit with our Innovation and Technology Committee, and our committee chair is Keaton Pema, the president of Defenovate. Defenovate provides IT and cybersecurity solutions for hospitality businesses to secure customer data, optimize operations, and ensure 24-hour IT support. They've been a big help to hotel and lodging businesses in staying protected, efficient, and ahead of the curve when it comes to technology and innovation. We're proud to be working with and to endorse Defenovate as one of our key innovation and technology partners. Reach out to Keaton about any of your needs in these areas and about our work in innovation and technology, as he also serves as the chair of the Innovation and Technology Committee. And joining Keaton this morning is a very special guest, Gabby Bachon, owner and CEO of Global Business Solutions. GBS is a full service business technology services provider in the greater Cincinnati area. They've been in the technology business for more than 30 years, and they've been growing ever since. Their values lie in the satisfaction of clients and partners. GBS knows that every problem has a solution, and that's why we're here today, because we have some significant problems that we're working through related to crime and public safety. When called upon, GPS provides a swift answer. They're inviting. I've enjoyed meeting Gabby and getting to know him through his initial engagement with us on this discussion, and I hope we're going to be able to do a lot more together on innovation and technology. I appreciate both of these gentlemen who are experts in their fields, talking through some ideas today on how we use smart surveillance as part of our approach to getting better results when it comes to dealing with crime and public safety. So, thank you very much for being here today, gentlemen, and we'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Joe, Michelle. Appreciate everything here. Let me just get my presentation here and we can begin. Can everybody see the slide? Show. All right, great. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you folks being out here. I know everybody's busy and getting up on a webinar like this, so we'll try to keep it. We'll keep it flowing. If you have questions, if we can, Michelle, if you can help me out in the chat box a little bit, and then as we get through the slides, we've got a lot to talk about, so we'll kind of go through the presentation, and then we've got some time at the end to answer some questions and things like that. So, definitely, Joe, thank you for the friendly introduction. Also with Gabby, we have Gabby from Global Business helping us today talk about AI, and we'll get started. So good morning, Gabby. Thank you for doing having this with us, and we just want to talk about how has AI powered video surveillance evolved in recent years. Can you just talk about the technology a little bit?
Sure. Good morning, all. Thank you for joining us first. And Joe, thank you for the introduction, and Keaton as well. Thank you. Happy to be here, and maybe we can talk a little bit and discuss a little bit about the new advancements in surveillance and reporting, and also just to get your input as well on how we can assist you with some solutions to the problems that you guys are having. So to start with, the question you asked, Keaton, is we've been in surveillance for over 30 years. From the days of the analog cameras, which basically, you're looking at a camera that doesn't have very good resolution, trying to make up a person or something or a car or whatever, uh, and to today. And surveillance have changed quite a bit. The days of people watching screens and trying to just make sure that have like a big knock of some sort and trying to watch all these screens and trying to detect people walking into a space or doing something they're not supposed to or just for safety reasons. Those days, I mean, there's still a valid solution for it, but those days in general are gone. Today, we rely very heavily on AI to do that job for us and to alert us and to provide with meaningful information from the things it learns. So we'll dig in deeper a little bit more into how AI is used today in surveillance and how the Ohio Hotel Association can benefit from it.
Okay. And I know with the recent vandalism that's happening, and I know in Columbus especially, and we've had other cities do it too. But why is it essential for hotel security today? How does that play into it?
So after discussions with Joe and Keaton, and then watching the news and hearing more about what's happening with the gangs and happening with not just hotels. I mean, this is across multiple industries. There is a increase or rise in vandalism and crime. So having a solution that can address that, especially for hotels and hotel guests, that way they can feel safe and they can feel secure and know that their belongings in the car are safe. There is a solution for that, and AI can be part of that solution. It's not a one part solution by any means, but it is a solution that is built for that specific purpose. We've been doing again all kind of things in security and in physical security, from monitoring stadiums to big gathering spaces and things like that. And we came up with every solution, every area or every different venue has a specific need. So we pride ourselves in customizing a solution that would work for a specific need. So
Okay, all right, thank you. All right. How does AI identify security threats versus, say, normal guest activity?
AI has been around for a long time. If you guys did not know, the first AI has started literally back in the early 1920s. Of course, it was very primitive, but AI has been around us for a long time. So AI can be, most new or newer type of cameras, as long as they have some type of intelligence built into them. And when you marry those cameras with a very good VMS system, which is a system that where the cameras basically connect to, that has a big database and has more functionalities in it to allow for these type of AI things to pull different reports and different behaviors. So the combination of the camera and the VMS system that it connects to gives us more information than we ever had to to analyze that information and act upon it very quickly. Your regular recording systems don't have that built into them, or if they have some minor capabilities. We can talk a little bit more about what do you guys want to accomplish, and then we can talk more about what type of solution we can engineer for this specific purpose. But our top of mind is basically guest security and making sure the guests are secure and feel safe when they come into a hotel. That increases, of course, hotel occupancy. It increases people, using hotels in general for business or for leisure.
Okay. And I think you kind of mentioned detection and things like that, but can it detect weapons versus say a suspicion activity, or can you talk a little about
Of course.
detection?
So, um, as I said, cameras have came a long way, and the VMS systems also have came a long way. Plus, outside AI capabilities that can marry with your systems also play a big role. And we can detect pretty much anything you want. If there is an object that you want to report on and you want to detect and you want to trigger certain things, we can do that. We can detect weapons, gunshot, aggression, fights in the parking lot, any unusual or suspicious behavior that you want to alert on. We can teach AI to learn it and report on it. It's out of the box. It does not know these things, but you have to teach it these things and teach it different scenarios, and then after that it starts to learn and get better every time.
AI, AI is so new, and security and privacy, especially it being new, and you and I have talked about compliances, and it's just all over the place. But how does hotel security ensure that it's private, especially when it comes to facial recognition, license plates, and then so how do hotels feel safer that at least that there's privacy and
Sure.
in check?
uh, I'm going to go a little bit in the laws in the United States and certain states here first, and then talk about what can we do. So as of right now, there are no laws against public facial recognition in the states. Couple of few states have put in or put some regulations around it, but in general, there's Ohio and many other states don't have anything right now that basically prevents you from doing facial recognition in public. That might change in the future, but the systems are ready because Europe is ahead of us in that, and there are laws in Europe that prevents you from doing facial recognition in public or in private for that matter. So the systems that we have today, they have the capability of masking the person's face,
Okay.
license plate numbers, anything you want to mask. That's all can be masked today. And only in the case of a crime or only in the case of a suspicious activity, then an administrator can get in and can unmask that person or that vehicle or whatever that is that they want to unmask. So for someone looking at the camera system, they may not be able to see the faces or recognize the faces through AI automatically, but that's done in the background. It does it, and then when you need it the most, whether you give that access to law enforcement or an administrator of some sort that has elevated rights in the system to basically review the video and unveil the faces of the person.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely Europe is ahead of that. I see that a lot of time in the compliance issues and things like that. And then you mentioned, cameras come a long way from, having that 12, 15 monitor thing. But, how does AI reduce false alarms? There's always positives and negatives, especially in the motion detection. Can you talk about how technology has come and how AI has improved accuracy?
Sure. I mean, the cameras today are really high resolution, and they, they can. I mean, we're in the process of installing a camera right now that has a 7 mile range. It has a camera and a thermal camera with it. It's basically it's used for drone detection or things in the sky or something like that, airplanes. It avoids collisions in the sky and things like that. So Airports are using these technologies, and so cameras have come a long way. And facial recognition does not rely only on one or two things in somebody's face. It's a lot more deeper than that. It calculates multiple different areas and learns multiple different areas of the person's face or a vehicle or an object. And just an example for facial recognition, it can go up to hundreds of points in the face to make sure that it is the correct person, from distance between the eyes, the nose, the lips, the distance between the ears, the size of the ears of the person. I mean, it detects so many different things and correlates all that to give you very good accuracy. There is nothing 100% accurate for sure, but technology today is extremely accurate, and it's in the high 90%.
Wow, that's huge. AI is really coming a long way, man. Okay, well that's good. All right, next step. How do hotels set up AI video surveillance? How can hotels get started?
Well, that's a trick question. We have to, it's a case by case. We have to see what the hotel has currently, and to figure out if the surveillance system that they have some type of a API or some type of a conduit that can be connected to an AI system. We have to look at the cameras that they have to see if that's the case. But also, we can leave that system altogether alone. And if we're just concerned about the parking lot, we can put a different system just for those parking lots that can monitor activities within the parking for the hotels. So, every hotel is a different, depending on the layout of the parking lot, depending on what areas they want to cover, how many entrances and exits to the hotel, and things like that. So we can have a very good idea on who comes in, who leaves. Are there any cars that are basically standing in one spot for a long time, that they're not in a parking spot, for example, or or maybe you have people come out of the park, come out of a car in a faster motion than usual. When a guest comes in, they're not usually in major hurry. We can mask different areas, like we can mask the area under the canopy of a hotel. We can tell it not to report on that, because that's usually a guest coming in. But we're going to report on somebody parked right in the middle of the parking lot, wait by a car, and trying to break in, so they can have a quick exit. So we can teach the system these things and make it more relevant and more accurate.
I know you've mentioned a couple of times that you don't have to take your security system you have, and you can just integrate, and it's more of an added value with AI. Can you talk about integration a little bit into existing ones? What are the probability of keeping what you have, and if it's an older system versus the timetable a little bit.
Most hotels have systems that basically for general uh, you know uh, safety, I would say, or general uh, use. So we can look at those cameras and look at how old they are. Do they have OnVIF, which is a technology that allow us to connect to those cameras and then uh, export the data from the camera to an AI type system. If they do not have an OnVIF, they're not OnVIF, then we can look at maybe replacing some of those cameras facing the parking lots, or we can just add additional cameras. We can look at this recording system as well and see what kind of data it has. A lot of the newer systems have that capability to allow us to tap into them and connect them to an AI system for recognition. But if they don't, then we can decide, is that something that's going to be used only in parking lots and separate system altogether, um, uh, or is a replacement of an existing system. In addition, if we're only looking at 2 or 3 cameras in a parking lot, that can go directly to the cloud as well, and you don't have to have a system on site. We can connect those cameras directly to our AI cloud, and then from there we can do all the analytics and do a lot of detections and things like that, and then be able. The second part of this is really be able to what to do with that. Once we recognize there is an issue, then we can come up and decide how we want to react on that. Is that something that we want to alert the authorities? We want to maybe have a strobe light with speakers around the parking lot, letting people know, hey, this is we're watching you. Basically, you're under surveillance. We got you. There are so many things we can do. We can alert somebody within the hotel. You can even trigger if the hotel have gates. You can even trigger the gate to lock or to close at that moment, so the person does not leave, or the person that's vandalizing the space cannot leave. So there are a lot of things that we can work together on, of course, within the laws and within the requirements of the hotel as well.
Okay. Well, I know you mentioned a couple of things, but hotels in specific, what challenges do hotels face when they integrate with AI, and how do they overcome it?
One of the biggest challenges is really, hotels get a lot of guests, and the larger the hotel, the more guests you get. So trying to analyze and recognize a guest from an intruder is a challenging thing. So, but I believe there is an answer for that.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. And I know we talked about a little bit about privacy, but can you talk about specifically on AI surveillance and compliance?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go back again to the GDRP, which is the European what do you call it, laws against data protection regulation in Europe. And then in California they started having also one called CCPA, which basically also protects the person from their data being out there and being used in public. But all these laws really are still in their infancy, and there is a lot of controversy on what they can be used for, what not, and how can we use them. But in case of a vandalism or in case of a crime, you are allowed to go and search for a specific video or a specific person in a surveillance system. So as long as we're masking the faces of the people and in certain things, you're not in violation of any incoming laws or any existing laws in certain states. Now, cameras are everywhere, in every street corner, in every office space you walk in. People used to cameras, and they're no longer as concerned with cameras as they used to be 5-10 years ago. I think people cannot ignore cameras anymore, for better way. So I don't think it's an issue. Some companies or some organizations have put signs out there that they are utilizing AI for surveillance. Just like you put a sign out there that you're not allowed to bring in guns to a certain place or things like that to protect you a little bit more. But honestly, I just don't. I think people would feel safer knowing that they are in a safe place, and they're and somebody is helping them being safe and helping them being in a good environment that provides them with what they need from standpoint of whether it's vandalize preventing vandalism for their property, or even safety within the hotel itself. You know, there is no such database that you could buy or you can subscribe to that can give you facial recognition right off the bat. Uh, you can collect your own database and create your own database and then insert different things in your database. If you have pictures of different criminals, pictures of or videos of different people you want to watch out for, you can insert that in your VMS system and alert on it. But to go and get a database of the people's pictures and things like that, or videos, that is not available unless you're like from FBI or CIA or anything like that. So
Yeah, and privacy is such a big thing. Everybody is so sensitive to it. But when you're implementing, if a hotel goes about implementing surveillance, what questions, or how do they go about balancing security versus guest privacy? Everybody's so oversensitive about privacy and things like that. But where's the balancing act? What would a hotel go through?
uh, I mean, as I said, I mean, people used to see cameras, and honestly, people don't know what these cameras are capable of doing today. So only few know what cameras are able to do today. But no matter where you go, whether you're going to a ball game, whether you're going to any hotel, or anywhere you go, there are cameras out there. And yes, in the back of their mind, they're thinking people are watching me or things like that. But we've been in business 30 years, and I really don't think there have been a much pushback on having cameras in public spaces. Uh, People want security and people want safety. So I think that really is more important, I think, than for a lot of people than the privacy. We're not putting cameras in rooms or anything like that. So it's really in the main areas and in parking lots. So it's not any different than having a regular camera out there uh, doing surveillance. But now we're adding AI to it, but only accessed when it needs to be. So you're not accessing the AI and using that unless there is an incident. So that really gives, from a standpoint of guest privacy, if you say AI is only used to predict incidents or predict crime or anything like that, it is not used to market to people or to do certain other things. People would feel more safe.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Moving on. Can you give examples of hotels using AI to reduce crime?
Oh, uh, I'm gonna do a hypothetical example since we really haven't done anything with the hotels in Ohio, but it's this technology is used in casinos, uh, more than you think. I mean, we work with few casinos here in town, and every single camera that they have is AI enabled. So from standpoint of detecting people cheating to making sure the casino is safe, or is there aren't any criminals or anything walking into the hotel. That's all done through facial recognition today. Casinos have cameras at every entrance, multiple cameras, from detecting whether it's reading license plates, reading people's faces, recognizing object from a standpoint of a gun in a holster on somebody's hip. It has to be visible, of course. You can't detect a gun if it's covered, or carrying a backpack that could be a subject to other interpretation than just a backpack. So that technology is used now, and many other uh, things that we use it for, especially in casinos. But for the hotels, I really think fixing the crime that you have today with the vandalism of the vehicles, and people feeling that, if I'm gonna leave my car in the parking lot, is that gonna am I gonna come back to a broken window, or my belongings are missing, or whatever that is? I think the hotels can benefit majorly from these technologies, trying to minimize and hopefully eliminate with time the crime, basically.
Okay. So can AI prevent incidents from happening before they happen?
So,
I know
I
it's
mean, yeah, over time it will,
okay.
and I tell you why. Because if a criminal knows that the hotel has uh, surveillance based on AI, they will think twice before they walk into a hotel that has that technology versus a hotel that does not have that technology. So does AI by itself prevents it? No, but the fact that people know now that we have higher or more sophisticated technology that will help, identify a person, or identify a car, or report directly to the police, or uh, come up with a big, with a siren out there with strobe lights or whatever, they will think twice before they walk into the hotel that does not have that technology.
That makes sense. So if you have the analytics, then you can do the predictions of
Sure.
it
And
in
then,
the so
eventually what I'd like to see, and down the road, is if a crime does happen in a hotel, and we have those video footage from one hotel, we can upload those video footage to another hotel to correlate all these criminals, or all these the faces of all these people into one system. That way, if that same person tried to uh, you know uh, come to a different hotel, you can alert on it right away, or the car, or whatever it is that, or the group of people that walking in at the same time. So with correlating different videos and different images from different hotels that had that incident before, you can prevent it in a new hotel.
okay, okay. And I know in the conversations that I've had with you, you've mentioned that the analytics sometimes with the enforcements, there's some integration. Can you talk about that integration a little bit and
Sure.
how it's working?
So different systems integrate differently with the law enforcement. Here in Cincinnati, uh, uh, the police department uses a system that is widely used in the city. So we created a conduit from different cameras in different places, in public places like Fountain Square, and uh, areas where people gather. And even though those cameras are owned by a business of some sort, or they're not really public, you know, cameras owned by the city, we have the capability of linking those cameras directly into the PD's uh, uh, system, where um, it will allow people to, or allow the police department or law enforcement to watch those cameras and alert on them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if people could just mute their mics, that would help in doing it. All right, thank you, Gabby. Appreciate that. Um, again, I know where there's some duplicacies on here about privacies and things like that. So I think data protection, I think we've talked about it, but balancing security versus guest privacy, I think we've kind of battered that long enough. But ethical, there's always hackers out there, uh gangsters that we talk about, and then there's always this balancing act of moralities and ethicals. Can you talk about that? What's happening in the industry,
Sure.
and how are people doing the right versus the wrong thing?
So, of course, anytime you have a good technology, it can be used for bad, and this is, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's AI, whether it's a database, whether it's, doesn't matter what it is. You could find a usage for a specific technology that is not ethical. So putting the right security around it, and using industry standards, uh, to make sure that you're not, uh, you're within the safe place or operating in a safer environment. A lot of people we've seen out there, they go buy cheap cameras that were made in China or made in other places that are not a trusted uh, solution. These devices usually don't get patched. They don't get updated with the latest software. They're just put in and they're forgotten about. That opens up the door for hackers, for people using these footages for other things than what the intention is, or what they're intended to do. So partnering with a company that is reputable and that understands not only the physical security part and the video part, but also the IT and the cybersecurity around all these devices is very, very important. Uh, and GBS has been doing that for years. We started as an IT company, and then with our partnership with Keaton's company as well, we can provide a lot more security to make sure that these devices are not used for something that is not ethical.
Yeah, and I think you and I've talked about and from a best practices standpoint, AI again, it's so new as like and in any other technology, we encourage people to number one, AI is here to stay, guys,
Oh, for sure.
and to at least take it from top down versus just an IT thing or it's a HR thing. You got to have policies in place. We encourage people to go from top down and at least start talking about it. So AI, I mean, we're talking about security, surveillance, and everything, but even just having an AI practice, right? Just having a policy and in something and evolving, right? So it's not one and done kind of thing, and we're encouraging, even from a legal perspective and risk insurance and again, it's a gamut thing of a business thing, but just putting your head in the sand and thinking it's just gonna bypass you. It's something that companies need to start looking at it, and it starts from the top and works its way down is part of the ethical part that we encourage a lot of folks to do. So all right, so thank you, Gabby, appreciate that.
And today we just talked about the use of AI in surveillance, but really it can be used for anything. I mean, we're implementing solutions for manufacturing. We're implementing solutions uh, for healthcare. We're implementing different solutions that use AI and putting the right guardrails around it to make sure it is safe and protected from outside sources that could really compromise the data. So, again, AI is here to stay. The use of AI is amazing. What it can do for us, the savings from not having to hire, just in case of surveillance, for example, 10, 15, 20 people to watch cameras all day long, and maybe they'll catch something, maybe they won't. We can replace all that with AI, and it will be a lot more accurate, a faster response, and a better outcome overall for the guests.
Okay. Yeah, and I think this, again, just not to beat it to death, but I think that casino example was a perfect in a hotel wise, and then just having multiple entrants and then things like that. So I think that I think we've talked to that. We've talked enough.
I mean, people don't think twice about walking into a casino knowing there are cameras in every single corner. So, people used to that. So it's not really something that it's strange technology or something new that people don't understand or know about.
Yeah, can you talk about the cost of on a traditional security system? Majority of our hotels around are anywhere. I could even begin to tell you, but it's not a casino, obviously, and we're looking at parking lots, we're looking at lobbies, and public places within the hotel. Compared to that versus AI, and I don't know, can you talk about specific packages or cost wise of how that works?
Again, it's really, you have to design the solution according to the space and what problem you're trying to solve. But just in generality, an AI powered camera is going to run probably somewhere in the $600 to $700 versus your cheap $200 camera, or cheaper than that. So a camera that has some AI built into it is going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's going to be a lot better quality camera. It's going to give you a clearer picture. In addition to AI, it's going to have a clear picture of the person or the object that you're trying uh, to identify. So putting a system together is going to be, it just depends on it's a combination of cameras, the installation of those cameras. Is there, can we get cabling wiring to those cameras or not? If we're going to put them on certain poles in the parking lot, are we going to utilize wireless technology to do that if there is no way to get wire to that space? All that plays a big role into the cost, but the ROI is huge. You know, I was talking to Joe earlier, and he mentioned some numbers how much hotels have lost in the last few years that these crimes have started. I mean, just right there, we can prevent that and minimize it to to bare minimum. Is it over, the ROI is way over what the losses are, I guess, from these incidents.
Yeah, and we talk about a lot of it, and there's the hard dollars, and then always there's that guest, the reputation, right? That
Sure.
hotels get over time and things like that. So that those things aren't measured in ROIs, and just something to think about. Okay, all right, thank you. Uh, you know, uh, just what are we've got these hotels happening, vandalism in Columbus. I know we've read and in talking in Cincinnati, and then it's starting to happen. So what can hotels do? What's it, what starting tomorrow? What can they do from?
Well, if any takeaway from here, I mean, if you are to take away something from this discussion, is really, let's sit down, understand your specific problem for your specific hotel, and let's work together on coming up with a solution that would work for you. I would like to understand, the flow of vehicles into the hotel. Look at, which directions people walk in, which directions, how many spots you have, parking spots you have. Are there any obstructions, anything like that? And then let's put together a solution that would work for your specific hotel. Takeaway, I really think there are always solutions to your problems, uh, and just partnering with the right company that will listen and understand the problem and figure out how to solve it with you is I would say that's the takeaway.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any, where do you see, well, obviously with AI, you and I talk about how technology has evolved with, the internet and social media, and AI is the future. What trends are you seeing in the future, and how's that, what should the hospitality folks, and specifically in the risk area and security, what should they be thinking about?
There's a lot of cool things coming with AI. I mean, from as long as the laws allows it. I mean, you want to give your clientele or your hotel guests a great experience. Imagine if you have a hotel that is an AI powered hotel that can greet a person or a guest that comes in that has a status for the hotel right away, from looking at their face, knowing who that person is, greet them, offer them something, connect that to maybe their app, offer them a complimentary something on their app, uh, you know, uh, guide them to certain places within the hotel. There's all kind of things you can do beyond the surveillance with AI. You can give customized experience to your guests with the use of AI that may take you 10 or 20 or 30 extra staff to do, but you can do it with digital signage. You can do it with speakers throughout the facility. You can do it with connected to your app, to the app on the phone. All kind of things you can do with it. That's just really, it's limitless what you can do with it today.
Nice. Yeah. And one thing, we encourage, as you look down, looking at your feet, and then also looking down the years, next 2-3 years, and more importantly, getting your attorneys, and even a lot of it, what we're starting to see is cyber insurance into it. So, getting your business folks involved in it is also a part of the future, and designing, when you design some risk assessments and things like that. So, what can, do's and don'ts, here's, we have this issue. What can the hotels do, or any recommendations?
You know,
Sitting down with you, or, what.
Sure. I'm going to answer the first question, the common myths about AI surveillance. People think, oh, AI can know more things about me, walk into a space or something like that. For the general public, no. Down the road, I'm not sure. Maybe yes, maybe no, depending on the laws and things like that. But as of today, whatever AI learns it's learning it within your systems. So especially for surveillance, as I said, there is no big database that a hotel can tap into to download images of people that all kind of people. You can get what's publicly available, but you're not going to be able to collect information on any person and load it into the AI system in your AI system. So you can learn from what's in your system, repeat guests. If you catch somebody vandalizing, at that point you have a picture of that person or video of that person or things like that. But structuring the system properly and giving viewing rights to the right people within your corporation or your organization is very important. You're not going to give a person at a desk, at the front desk, access to the AI systems. That's a big no-no. That all that information is kept secure, kept with multi levels of security, and only allowed for certain people. So I would not be too concerned about all the myths out there and all the misinformation out there. So again, AI is to stay. People, companies are investing billions and billions of dollars in AI. It's not going away. We just have to embrace it and use it ethically.
Yeah. And I think just getting, start out small and kind of grow into it, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I know this kind of comes to our, end of our questioning with Gabby. So thank you, Gabby. Appreciate that. That was a lot of information. We'll open it out to if there's any questions or any things. We'll open it up, and then just as a side note, here's my email address. There's my QRC code that takes you to LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me, my calendar is online. And you want to talk about just any concerns you guys have about AI or things that we talked about, cybersecurity or anything like that. And we're giving 1 hour of free assessment available. I've got access to Gabby if people wants to talk and stuff like that. But again, feel free to email me. Here's my cell phone number, and that's my QRC code if people want to talk. But again, Gabby, thank you for everything. Appreciate it. But we'll open it back up to the floor and see if there's any questions.
Hey, to both of you, I did get a question in here. So you had mentioned that some of this technology would require upgrades to certain systems, probably in the $200 to $500-$600 plus range. So with that being said, and with the emergence of AI, are there any other grants or financial support that business owners can kind of implement to kind of take some of that cost burden away?
I'm aware of grants and financial supports for house of worships, for nonprofits and things like that. I am not aware for anything for hospitality at this point. But it doesn't hurt to talk to your, I guess, law enforcement authorities and things like that. Especially if you are a victim of vandalism, there might be some funds out there that you can utilize.
I know separately the Small Business Administration, and especially in Ohio, I know it came across my desk. There are some grants for technology that the state of Ohio is providing. I don't know about Kentucky or other states, but within Ohio, I know there are some up to anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 through the Small Business Administration that they're offering, and the state of Ohio is funding it to get AI and technology and upgrading small businesses to upgrade their technology and things like that. But I can get all that information to you out, Michelle, and then maybe we can distribute it to everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much. One additional one, and so people can start entering some in the chat to support these too. You had mentioned kind of keeping this data and access to this system in kind of a closed-knit circle. Do you think that this will down the road require a position at a hotel for someone to manage this?
Yes and no. It depends on the size of the hotel. If it's a large hotel, yeah, you're probably going to need a full-time position to do so. For smaller hotels, I think as long as you have, your system is alerting someone, no one's going to be literally watching it 24/7 or anything like that. It has the smarts in it to notify people when there is an incident. Now, if there is an incident and somebody wants to review the video footage or something like that, then somebody with elevated rights to the system can access that. But to have a full-time position in a Hilton or a Hyatt or something like that, or a smaller restaurant, a smaller hotel, I just don't see that happening anytime soon. You can connect it to the authority directly. You could do certain things, and from a standpoint of technology itself, we provide the service to maintain these systems, and they have enough technology in them to alert us if a camera goes offline or the camera loses power or something like that, so we can react and make sure that we could, remedy the solution, whether we need to replace a camera or check power or something like that. Also, these systems that we install have predictive maintenance built into them, where it will start, alerting us when there is a problem with the system. So we'll know upfront before any major components is about to fail in the system, so we can fix those before, you know, it's too late or they go offline.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Those are all those that came in through chat I see so far. So if anybody else wanted to chime in, please do so.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you all. I really appreciate your attendance and hear me talk about this subject. We take surveillance very, very, very seriously, and we understand it, and we love to help you guys.
All right, thank you, Gabby. Appreciate that. Thank you. I know, again, thanks everybody for your time. I know everybody's got things to do, so that was good. Thank you, Joe. Comments, whatever, what you got coming up?
We appreciate your expertise and being here today with us. I'd like to let everybody know that this presentation, a recording of this session, and other resources related to this topic will be available on the OHLA website in our Innovation and Technology Resource Center. We do appreciate your interest in staying on top of this important technology issue and the crossover with one of our top priorities right now, which is the crisis that faces many hotels regarding public safety and crime. We hope that you'll engage with us at OHLA in the many different facets of how we are responding to that. I'll have an update to those of you in the Columbus market that are in the impacted hotels group about some of our upcoming meetings with public officials and other steps that we're taking. But on the innovation and technology front, throughout the year, we'll continue to discuss other topics and how we can use innovation and technology to transform various functions within your hotel and lodging businesses. So do watch for details about future sessions. You can share this information with anybody in your organization who may benefit. Once we get everything posted on the Innovation and Technology resource page, please feel free to send those who couldn't attend today there to learn more, and watch for more information about our events, meetings, the committees, programs, and opportunities that we have for all of you. Get in touch with us anytime. Any members of the OHLA team are glad to help you anytime there's a question, a problem, an issue that we can help with. So have a good rest of the week, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.